Hey guys, actually let me pause the TV. I don't even know why I didn't think to do that before I even started filming. Okay, so this video I'm going to be in a couple different places throughout the house when I'm showing you the books that I recommend by Black authors. Not all of them are social and emotional issues. Some of them are just fun reads, but I wanted to suggest some Black authors, which I think every one of the books that I've actually read, I've suggested them in other videos. And the ones that I haven't read are books that I'm going to read that I've already read books by the author or heard of other books by the author, and I just haven't gotten around to reading them. So first, I want to show you a series. And yes, I'm holding the phone with my hand, so I won't be able to move around a whole lot. So this series, if you are Christian like I am of the Christian faith, and you have children, or you like middle grade, or I would say middle grade / high school fantasy, because this I think can qualify for both. You would like this author. It's Priscilla Shirer, I believe how you pronounce her name. But she co-wrote this series, or I don't think it was actually co-writing. I think the person, maybe it is co-writing. I don't know. But anyway, it's Priscilla. She's the person that came up with the series, came up with the ideas, came up with the storyline, all that stuff. And I think this other person probably helped her. But she's a famous Black evangelist in the Christian community. And she's also had prior books than this. But anywho, it's the Prince Warrior series. I recommend them all. So this one is the Prince Warriors. That's one. The Prince Warriors Unseen Invasion, 2. And I've read the first 2 books already. Then we have the Prince Warriors Sword of Rama, I believe is how it's pronounced. I have not read this one yet. This one is on my TBR. And then the 4th book to the series is The Winter War. And it's a sequel to the first 3 books. And I have not read this one yet. There's also a 365-day Devo that goes with this. But I'm pretty sure you have to read all 4 books before you do the Devo. Because I want to say that the questions kind of refer back to the books. Not quite sure. But how I plan on reading it is the series first. So I'm going to put those over there. And then I just so happen to have another book sitting next to me. And I have not read it yet. This is actually on my TBR. It's been on my TBR for like, I want to say a month already, maybe 2 months. But with March being the COVID pandemic and all the educators switching to online distant learning and having to train while we're teaching, and then me also still being in college classes, it was a whole lot. So I read what I could, and I'm still reading what I can. But this is American Street by E.B. Zabowie, I believe. I've heard nothing but great things about this book. And of course, it's social and emotional issues, economic hardships, and all of that stuff that goes with it. I don't know much about this book. All I know is that it was recommended to me, so I'm going to read it. I don't like to know too much about my books before I read them. Other than like a brief synopsis. And I'm sure I've read the synopsis many a times before because I've had the book for a while. I just don't remember it. But sitting next to me, I think that's all I had. I did actually have one more book. I know. Give me a second. All right, so now I'm in my messy bedroom. The other book I did have is The Watsons Go to Birmingham. I read this once about 2-3 years ago, and I couldn't remember every detail like I wanted to. And this is part of my historical fiction unit study that I was already doing before Memorial Day happened. So I reread this so that I can do my unit study a whole lot better. I don't believe in doing unit studies over books that I have not read. So this is my ELA unit study. And I also highly recommend going along with the audiobook with this as well. 1 minute. Okay. So now I got some more books. Actually, I got a lot more books. And these aren't even half the books that I have. So we moved from a house to an apartment, and a lot of my books are actually in storage. So I can't even give you half of a list of books to read.
All the books are in your room.
Yeah, some of my books are in my room. That's my little man. Say hi. Hey. Hey. Trying to get another book that I just noticed I had, but Mom, it's not coming out.
Mom,
what's up, dude?
our little peppermint thing ran out of the scent of peppermint. I can put it in.
You do not know how to put it in. I'll put it in when I'm finished with my recording.
Okay.
They have an diffuser in their rooms, help keep the spiders and stuff out. All right, can you go throw that away? All right.
Yes, but please.
All right, so let me see if I can get finished with this before my husband gets home, because I actually have to help him do some stuff once he gets home, and I told him I'd be ready for him when he got home. All right, you stay there. I'll be right with you, okay? All right. Sorry, so this video is going to be shaky. Okay, so other Black authors to read from. And one of these books, I wasn't even sure if the authors are Black. Actually, two of these books, I'm not even sure if the authors are Black. And I've read both of these books before growing up. And I'm sure I knew the answer at the time that I read it, but I haven't looked it up since then. Which I always look up my authors right before I read the books. So since these are still on my TBR reread list and I'm not quite to them yet, I haven't looked them up again. So the first book is, actually the second book is not even within that category at all, so I'm gonna put that one back. I just realized what the other book was. Okay, anyway, To Kill a Mockingbird. And this is actually my play script. I played the nurse in this when I first got married to my husband. Her name was Calpurnia. So I played her, wide and all outside and pregnant, when I first got married and we found out that I was pregnant. So that's one, and I'm pretty sure Harper Lee is Black, but if not, that still has to do with Black people, and I like it, so I'm recommending it. This is a new one that I've gotten. I have not read it yet. It was my book of the month pick for February, but I had a big TBR for February, and half of that TBR was actually books that I needed to read for class. So I didn't do half of what I wanted to do for February. But the Girl with the Loud Voice by Abby Dare. So then we got Donovan's Word Jar. This was a Scholastic $1 pick, and I picked a bunch of those for my classroom. And then I got a couple for me. And then PSB 11. I read the first one over the summer for my children's literature class, and I really wanted to finish the series, so I got the second one. Now I just got to find the last one, the third one. We have Becoming by Michelle Obama. This is actually on my summer TBR. It was on my May TBR to read whatever, but again, I have been so occupied with school, and then now, the world blew up, so there's that. PSB 11 is also on my summer TBR. And then, of course, we have the classic Roots. any and everyone should read this book or listen to the audio, because I know with it being such a big book, it's very intimidating. It's considered a tome, if I'm not mistaken. This book I actually stumbled upon at my very first job working at a school as a substitute custodian. And they had a free library where they didn't care if you took the book and never gave it back. So this was one of the books that I sat down to read and I just had not come back to. And I actually want to finish reading it. It's called In the Meantime, Finding Yourself and the Love You Want. So this is really cool. Nobody was reading it. Nobody cared really to read it at the school that I was working at. So I started reading it. Actually, I was just like, you know what? This book cover looks great. I'm just going to pick it up and start reading it. So I did. Second book is Scared Silent by Mildred Muhammad. It's a memoir. I received this when I was living on the Fort Stewart Army post with my husband when he was enlisted. The author, I believe, I want to say it was the author or someone who knew the author, was giving these out for free when we went to the PX. So I got that. This I read over the summer for my children's literature, A Long Walk to Walter. The author is not Black, but the main character in the story is, and she interviewed him, and he gave her permission to write his story. So that is why it's not by a Black author. The Skin I'm In. I also read this for children's literature. Really, really, really great book on how an adult from the outside of a mom-daughter relationship comes in to be a light to the students in the community and in the classroom. But since she's upper class, they don't really listen to her. She comes in these extravagant suits and nice purses and everything, so no one wants to listen to her. But she teaches this dark-skinned beauty on the cover how to love herself, and I thought it was really awesome. But she doesn't do it by being pushy or anything like that. She does it small bits at a time with small compliments, and then when the major things are happening, she's there to let her know, like, yes, you did something bad, but you still have a friend, an ally, someone who loves you in me. Really cool. And then we got Push, which was major motion picture. I have not read the book yet, but I will get there. I have Thick, Other Essays, which I was told that this was really good to read for political point of views and women, like Black women, and how we live in society. So I'm going to give this a try. Elijah of Buxton. This is also for a children's lit class. Have not read it yet, but is on my TBR. Mandela, The Life of Nelson Mandela, and the title of the book is Mandela. I have not read this yet. Actually, I just got it from my local Goodwill, and I was surprised that it was in such good condition. These two books are in a series. Children of Blood and Bone, which I absolutely love, and then Children of Virtue and Vengeance, which I absolutely love. I can say I love this book. There's nothing problematic that I find about it, but there are a lot of people who vary in opinion. But I respect their opinions too, because the way they explained it, I could definitely see it from their standpoint as well. So that's pretty awesome that you can debate over a book and still be friends with people. Or well, I don't know if we consider us friends, because I only talk to her through Facebook and Twitter, because I met her, or not Facebook, YouTube and Twitter, because I met her through her YouTube channel. And then last on my list, but certainly not last that I have, is Mixed Me. And if you've seen my little one earlier in the video, you know that all three of my boys are mixed. And one of my boys has red hair and he's mixed. And a lot of people, like, they go through grief because a lot of people tell them that, they aren't Black, or I'm their adopted mom, and, all, et cetera, et cetera. So I bought them this book to let them know that they are loved by both their black family and their white family, and they don't have to choose a side. It doesn't make them any more or less mixed or biracial. Um, so, and if anybody disagrees with that, then they disagree with that. That is okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But so far, those are the books that I have. Not all of them I have here. Some of them I have in my storage unit, like I said, but these are the ones that I could grab really quick notice to make this video. So, until next time.